Hello everyone again, welcome back. Welcome back to another stream. I'm just going to go get the links for this off my YouTube, and then I can send them out to everybody, and then we can grab everybody else in here. Let's just do that now. Then nobody's missing out, because I want to show off some tech here, and then talk a bit about things, and we can try and get people in on the action in terms of choosing visuals, or at least helping with them, because I have a good idea for some stuff, and I just want to get some clarification for people, also some extra ideas. So, just give me a sec. Okay, so I think the link has been sent out now. We should be good. Just double checking here. Oh. There we go, just post on the internet there. And then everything else. Okay. So, I only want to do this once, really, hopefully. I guess we can wait until some people are around. I want to actually go and get some reference so I can go into VR chat in the background. And then we'll go over the tech stuff when everybody's available. So we'll just pop into VR chat here for a moment. Hello to anyone that's coming in so far. Hope you're okay. So, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be throwing up some worlds, or rather, a couple of them as an example of what I want to try doing. So we'll do Zelda Temple of Time. And we'll go over this from the exterior as well, because I like Breath of the Wild's version, so we'll do this one, and invite join. So the idea with this, even though it's a PC-only world, is that I wanted to potentially reference something like this, just because of how accurate this looks. Because the Judgement Hall looks very similar to this. So I'm thinking of actually raising the roof on the Judgement Hall and having the second set of windows in here, like the Temple of Time. Because you can easily, or at least in some versions, there's light coming through the windows as well, very similar to, but I still want to keep the wall that I've got on one side blocked in. So if we go to one of the other ones here, I'll probably end up doing this again later on just to show this to people. I just need to find the one that I had the other day that was really good in terms of it showed off everything a little bit better with the effects. But the idea is I'm trying to take, for the Judgement Hall at least, more inspiration from the Temple of Time. And then that way, it's going to look pretty cool. So as you can see here, we've got the lights coming in through the windows and everything else. We've got the God Rays. And it'd be cool having the chandeliers with like the Delta rune on them. That'd be pretty neat as like a little reference. The brickwork, we can do that pretty easy. The floors, I can make them reflective like this and have like a carpet in the center if I wanted. I'm probably going to just stick with the tile work. But yeah, I want to do this and then have the back area here be connected to Asgore's castle if possible. So instead of having this, we'd go this way and go straight into Asgore's castle. Hey, Classic! How you doing? But yeah, this is pretty cool, especially because the Judgement Hall kind of looked like a chapel already, and it just reminded me of this. And then when I was looking at reference, there was stuff online saying like, yeah, well, chapels can apparently be attached to castles inside of castle walls and stuff. So I was like, okay, I can do that, right? So this is what I want it to kind of look a little bit more like from the inside. That's totally easy. That's just a little bit of tweaks here and there. The one that's more interesting for me is the exterior, because of I think I've got two different choices that I want to use for reference, right? So we got I'm heavily borrowing from the Temple of Time, primarily because one, it's another adventure game, and two, it works really well. This one, from Breath of the Wild, from the outside as well, kind of fits the bill. I just need to do what I did with the rest of New Home, which is give it that sort of like really nice brickwork look to it. So, as you can see here, we got the run up the cobblestone floor and everything else until we get to the temple. And even though this version is broken down, the version that I do wouldn't be like that, but the exterior would be kind of similar. Because what we can do is we can have the Deltarune on the outside, have the towers be reflective of the ones that I've already done for New Home. And the idea is that you would come up, or at least the idea is kind of similar to this at the moment. I'm backtracking here so I can just show you. So the idea would be that we would come up, and you'd come along the battlements here like normal for New Home. And you get to the end here, and you'd have to go just in a little bit and then forwards to get to this bit on the official map. And somewhere around here as well would be another lift, right? So, or an elevator. So we'd come up, and then you'd have the Judgement Hall, right? So instead of having the entrance on the front like this, there are some churches or chapels that have doors on the side. So I'd have it on the side there. And the idea is we go in and pretty much like this. Again, it's got the whole deal with the giant windows and the light coming through, which I really like. Again, we can do that really easy. And then the idea is we come up at the end of the Judgement Hall and we jump out here, and this is where the castle would be. We'd already be inside Asgore's castle here. And it just looks really cool to be able to do that. And again, the reason why I'm doing this here now is for reference. So, like, if I took this and simplified it, let's do the flying drone here. If I took this and simplified the design a little bit, using the textures that I've already got, and then put battlements, you did a super job. Oh, just wait until you see the stuff that I've actually got, classic, because this isn't stuff that I've made, but I'll show you the stuff that I've made. But the idea is to use this as reference to make a building that's incredibly similar, but just in the ruined style that Undertale has. So we'd have like the 3 towers on the front, and then the battlements or the sort of like ramparts that we've put everywhere else. I think I can do that pretty easily, especially later on. I do that, it helps this classic. So yeah, we got this kind of look at the moment. And I like the idea of it. The one thing that I have a problem with is the towers, because the towers don't seemingly make sense at the moment. Just give me a sec. When I'm looking at this right now, the towers make no sense because you can't actually go inside them. Or at least I don't think you can. Oh, joke's on me, you can. So let's have a look up here. Because I've never actually been all the way in this. So yeah, you can go to the 2nd floor, and that's pretty cool. Okay, so yeah, I can use that for reference properly. But externally, again, like I was saying, if I do this, which I probably will as a cheeky reference, because I've already got one from Mother in this, the idea would be that I would walk along here, like in New Home, and then you'd see the Judgement Hall here, and then Asgore's castle would be attached right to the side of it. And the idea is we'd be walking all across the battlements, and over here where all the trees are would be where all of the buildings for New Home would be. Now that gives you a little bit of a clearer picture, or it should hopefully give you a clear picture. We're just going to quickly go to another one for reference. We're going to go to Sonic 06 world. Sounds totally crazy, but I do this primarily because the other castle style area from Sonic 06 has good reference. So we'll go here now and hope this doesn't blow up my computer, because I think it's optimized. If not, I can run the other one. Hey Alvin! Nice to see you again. So I'm going to show some cool things off today. I'll go back and explain stuff to you in a moment so that you know what I'm going on about. But yeah, here we've got Soliana from Sonic 06, and the reason why we're here is because I want to go and show off the princess's castle over here, because even though we can't see it too well here, I can actually pull up like footage of it and everything. But the princess's castle looks like another good bit of reference for the Judgement Hall, if I can see the high-res version, primarily because it just has that like cool looking architecture and stuff. This is a very low poly one at the moment because it's background artwork, but you've got like all these crazy sort of details coming out the side, which I think would be really cool to add. But as we were just saying, and for people coming in now at the moment, we've just visited a couple of worlds. I'm thinking of updating stuff just a little bit. It won't take too long to do. And the reason why is because it would make everything look a little bit cooler, right? So we have Temple of Time from Zelda here. And the idea is I'm thinking of taking ideas from this and using them to improve the Judgement Hall, because I look at this and all I can think of is, yeah, it looks pretty much like the Judgement Hall. It's laid out pretty similar. The details in it are really cool and very, very similar. I'm just like, yeah, this will work. This will work and be a really cool reference. So that's going to be cool to add that in. The same with the externals. We just quickly do this, and then I can show the tech behind everything at the moment in New Home. Classic says, I'm going to go for my spaghetti now. Been rock on taking the family out. Been so busy. Going to spend time with family today. Peace, Moody. Thank you very much, Classic. Hope you enjoy. So, for the people that have just arrived, like Alvin, my idea here would be to use Temple of Time from Breath of the Wild as reference for the exterior. So we'd have an exterior, an interior that looks pretty cool. Because we never see the outside of the Judgement Hall, right? So the idea that I've kind of got in my head at the moment is, imagine we're walking along the wall towards the Judgement Hall now, and the idea is we'd come up and the Judgement Hall would look a little bit like this, maybe not as big, but it'd look like this, and the idea is we would then have a good idea of what it looks like from the outside, especially when we come inside and the light's coming through the windows and everything. And then the idea being that because we've come in from the side, we'd then exit this side here. And just where we exit here, this is where we'd be right inside Asgore's castle. So the idea is that this entire area would be Asgore's castle then on the inside. And the exterior where I'm looking here with the trees, that would be where all the buildings are for New Home. It just makes sense that way to me, because then we come along the wall here. If you go off the original map for Undertale, we'd come around here, go in through here, everything would look cool like this, and then we'd go past Sands, do the whole deal with Sands there, and then we go out again and we're in Asgore's castle immediately, and the exterior looks like this. I just think that would be really cool as a reference, and also it gives me a really easy and clean visual as to what would work. But the tech behind this is the coolest bit. Like all the stuff that I've been messing around with, I'm going to show you now. So get rid of VR chat for a moment. And we're going to go into Blender here. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm on about. So, this is New Home at the moment. This is just a test for it using the Ruins textures. The idea is that I can make this as big as I want, essentially, out of all of those models I made the other day. I made 15 building models, so it looks pretty randomized. We've got all the bell towers and everything else. I don't know why they have so many bell towers in the underground, but we'll just roll with it, unless I take the bell out of the model. Because if I take the bell out of the original model, then it would work a little bit better. The idea is we got this. Just load it up here. We got all the textures on and everything else. Just give it a sneak peek, so you can see from there. It's kind of looking really cool. We can see all the individual brickwork and details, and it looks pretty accurate to Undertale, despite me copying these buildings from different places. Already referencing stuff like Smash Bros, Super Mario Sunshine, different Sonic games, Final Fantasy. You know, it all blends together pretty well. So I'm like, oh, okay, I need to build a city, and this is the coolest bit now, is the tech behind it. It uses geometry nodes with the help of bakers from the Undernet for this. But what geometry nodes essentially do in this case is say, right, we've got a point here that we can move, and as we move or make a new one, it will randomly select a building from 1 in 15 that I made and place it wherever I want. So, for instance, we'll extrude this line out here, and I'll show you. As you can see, as I'm moving this, it's generating 1 of 15 different buildings in place of where it is. And I can just keep on moving these around if I want to have a little bit of extra control as to what the actual building is. So if I want like a tower there, then for this one, I can make it like, say for instance, that one. And if I don't want another bell tower there, I can just change that to like a small house, and we can just keep doing that. And I can just keep doing that infinitely, and it'll keep generating buildings at random. So that's really cool, and that's going to be really helpful for the rest of this. So, well, the Judgement Hall have like a trap where Frisk walked in and a laser scan, and when the laser's done, and then boom, they need to play Just Dance first. What? Oh, the thing is, it's like I'm gonna have, I think, like a dance-off versus Metaton anyway in this, so either way, it's gonna be crazy. But yeah, doing all these buildings the other day was really nice, and then adding like all the materials to them. But I just like how this is so easy now to just go ahead and decide like, yeah, I want some extra buildings. Let's just throw them over here, and we can just keep on doing this in like a grid format. And as you can see, we just keep going and going and going, and it just randomizes it. And then there we go, we've already got some more geometry to the skyline, and then when we look at this from, say, like, up here, just look at how much detail is in that. And the thing is, it's not even that many polys. And the way the geometry nodes work, it's just really good. So it's totally randomized. So I'm really happy about that. Really, really happy. Because this just makes everything a lot easier. No. Susie from the Undernet voice is Metaton. Yeah, I like this kind of look here. We can go ahead if we want and just get like a side shot of stuff. I bet that took tons of time since David. No. What I did was I got help for it, David, and you've just come in, so I'll just show you now and see what you think as well on top of this. So I edited the materials last night to make them look good and saved a couple of extra buildings just so it was easy to do. But we've got all these buildings now with all the textures on and all the brickwork and stuff that looks really awesome, and it's going to look better. This is just temporary lighting. You got all this brickwork here, right? And like I was saying before, because I've done it in 3D, as you can see, as we pull out, we still see those 3D details. So it's all looking real good, right? But, like I was explaining just, we can do this via some geometry nodes that bakers helped create. And essentially what geometry nodes in this case do is at any given point on this plane that I've got underneath, it will place a random model there from a selection that I've got. So I've got like a selection of 15 buildings. And as you can see, as I pull these points out, it randomizes what building goes there. So say, for instance, if I want this point to change, and I want that building to be closer, you see how it just, as I move it, it changes what the building is. So I can just mess around with it and select one out of the 15 buildings that I did. So if I don't want a tower right next to another tower, I can be like, okay, let's pick that one. You know, then I can keep this small house here and be like, this one looks a bit too similar. Let's do either one of the big ones, or we'll do another tower. You know, and it makes everything so easy. I just have to kind of have a little bit of control with how much it's randomized. But I can reload there. Hang on. If I wanted to, I can reload and just copy all of this so far. So I can just be like, okay, this stuff looks good enough. Let's just duplicate that. And then we can just zip this over here, right? And as long as I fill in that gap there, we've already got a bigger part of the city. And the best thing is then I only have to model, like, say, maybe 1 or 2 giant walls to kind of break things up. Make things look a little bit more believable. But it's so cool just having the ability to do that. You know, to make this entire thing a lot easier on myself. Because I thought, ages ago, I would have done this entire thing without, like, geometry nodes or anything. Like, ages ago, back when I used to first do 3D, what I'd do is I'd just take all of this, do a small area, so I'd do, like, maybe this kind of area, the way that I wanted, and then I'd just copy and paste this across. So you'd see it multiple times, it'd be the same grid set up every single time. But it's really cool with geometry nodes having that flexibility, so I can just, like, chill. And the best part is, because I did everything with kind of the same textures that I normally use here. Oh, too close to the bump map there. As you can see, it's pretty good for, like, close-ups as well. So what I can do here is when Frisk is walking on the bridge or the wall to Asgore's place, and we have to go in between some of these towers, because they're not super low resolution, they're actually pretty decent in terms of the way I modeled and textured them. It means that it's not going to look bad going in between those towers. You know, so, like, for instance, if we just demo this right now, and I just turn around and be like, these are the actual building models that I used that are here, right? So if we do large main tower, let's see what that is. That's that one. Nope. We just do the geometry node setup for the moment, right? So the idea is Frisk walks between 2 towers. So if we do, like, bell towers here, right? We can kind of demo this already, having this set up like this. So the idea is that Frisk will eventually walk in between 2 things like this, with all of New Home at the side of them, and then we go into Asgore's place. I'm just going to deliberately place them there for the moment. This is just for the sake of it, but because of how this is, we can just walk through there and everything will be fine. The buildings will still be there and Asgore's will be over here. You know, so it'll be really, really good. And it'll still keep all that detail. It's extremely nuts. The best part about this is if I want to, I can easily tweak this myself. The bells, yeah, I'm actually thinking of taking the bells off because they have so many, like, bell towers here. I'm just like, maybe I just import, like, the bell tower again as a separate model instead and delete the original ones. Like, we've got the original one here. If I was to take that and delete the bell, because it makes no sense to have this many bells in here, right? If I just take that, select the bell and just delete it, it deletes it from every single instance. And then we just have the spires instead. Jingle bells, jingle bells. So yeah, I can always do that and just have them like that, because that looks pretty cool. And again, it's that whole thing of I'm actually surprised at how, I think it's mainly because of the style rather than anything else, because I've done it all like this. It just works together, even though this is literally a mix of, like, Final Fantasy, Smash Bros, Super Mario, and Sonic the Hedgehog buildings. It makes no sense when you say it like that, but because they're all in, like, the same style and everything, it just works. It all looks cohesive and all sort of looks like it's all part of the same thing. You know, so I'm really happy about that. Oh, and I added the textures to the pillars. Where is it? Let's try and get one that actually we can see properly. It might just be because of the lighting, but I added the purple pillar texture on here so it looks decent. But yeah. Anyway, what I'll do is I'll get back to what I was saying again, and then I might actually try modeling it. So Damon, while you're here, I'm going to show you what I was working with in terms of reference. So the Judgement Hall in Undertale is one of the most important areas in the game because it's where you end up with, or where you end up at the end of the game. And we don't have an external shot from it. So I was thinking, because if you look up the Judgement Hall, let's just quickly here it is. Undertale Judgement Hall. See if you agree with this. The Judgement Hall itself, when you look at it, it's this really iconic area where you end up meeting Sans again. And this is going to be pretty close to Asgore's castle. But the way that I'm working it, it's going to literally be on the side of Asgore's castle. Oh, there's a mirror here. But yeah, this is a version that somebody else has done. It's very similar to the one that I've done. But the idea is each one of them is the same. You've got like this very high roof with the light coming in through the windows here. And then the idea is you exit through doors on the sides. So you end up exiting over here. And it looks a little bit like a church. And I'm like, okay, we've always been able to see it from the interior, so well, what do I do for the exterior? And I'm thinking, and one thing that came to mind was Zelda, again, where I'm like, okay, what it looks like the Temple of Time, a little bit from Zelda. And I'm like, okay, if I take inspiration from that, then technically, I can add these extra like chandelier designs, and I can open up the roof a little bit to be bigger if I want, or I can just keep it the way that it is and just add the chandeliers. Either way, it kind of looks similar to the Temple of Time from Ocarina of Time. And I'm thinking to myself, I can add a back room here, kind of like this, and then have an exit door on the side, right? Damon says true. But the thing is, we've never seen the exterior of this thing, and I'm like, okay, so what do I do, like, for that? How do I make this? And I'm thinking to myself, and I'm like, okay, what other versions are there? So I go and find this one from Breath of the Wild, and I can just see it so accurately in my head at the moment, I'm actually just trying to justify making this. You know, but here we go. So when we go to Breath of the Wild area in VR chat, you see this the temple from over here, right? And I wouldn't have it this detailed, but the idea is it would be interesting to have this exterior, especially because the walk up to it kind of reflects what we'd be doing anyway in New Home, because we walk along the walls of New Home like this, and you get to look over the walls, and you'd see all of the buildings down below instead of the trees here. We keep walking, and we'd eventually get up to the Judgement Hall, which would be like this on the exterior, but with that same style that I just showed you for the rest of New Home. And then we'd come in from the side, which would be over here. And immediately, we got the windows, we got the back door, we go all the way to the end of the Judgement Hall, past Sans. And then we come out, and we'd immediately be in Asgore's castle here. It looks really good for reference, because I can just imagine the Judgement Hall looking something like this now. And then we just have Asgore's castle tacked onto the side of it. It just looks so good, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I can imagine that. You know. I suppose another area that would be good would be Aerith's Church from Final Fantasy VII. I can look at that, actually. Because it's kind of similar to that as well. F7. Where's Earth Church? so many places that kind of look similar here, and I'm like, good reference. Looks kind of like Ornstein. And the small arena on Dark Souls. But yeah, if I do that in like the ruin style, you know, a similar looking building in the ruin style that I showed off previously, I think it would work for the exterior. Here we've got Earth's Church, which I actually might do instead of the Temple of Time. Teleport to Earth's Church. Wait, what? Where am I at? What the? Can I just... What is even going on here? There we go. That moment where I was like falling through the world there, that was weird. Teleport to the church. Okay, so here we've got the church, which is kind of similar. We go inside. We've got a similar style setup with the windows and everything. Then we go through. It'd even be cool to have something like that, you know, as a reference to Flowey and stuff. Just have like the, be like golden flowers somewhere or something. And then as we go out to the back, this is obviously part of the church that's tacked on that's completely broken and stuff. But you could easily have it be pretty much like this in terms of few extra details in the externals. Because externally making something like that would not be hard. Ooh. No, that would actually look a lot better thinking about it rather than the Breath of the Wild area. I'd actually, yeah, I'm gonna go with that. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do it. Because I can add like the extra windows on the front and stuff, and then have that tacked on or in the same area. Go back to cloud for the moment, see what other stuff I can do. Because then I can have like all these big windows letting in a massive amount of light and it looking awesome. And try and actually do like a stained glass effect on it. Because let's have a look at the actual stained glass itself. A little bit low res, but looks pretty cool. But yeah, I think I can do that. Like if I do this the same way, that's going to look really awesome. Welcome to the void. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll call it there for the time being, and I'll grab some like ideas from this. I'll go ahead and try and make this building in the same style, and then I'll get back to you guys later on and see what you think. Anyway, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed. I know this is just a short brainstorming session, but yeah, I'll get back to you in a bit, and hopefully we'll have a completed building, and then we can work on the castle. So until next time, bye!